You ever wake up, stretch, pour your coffee, and look out the window just in time to see 100 total strangers building a wedding tent in your backyard? Because let me tell you, that's exactly how my Saturday morning kicked off. A scene so weird, so out of body. For a second, I wondered if I'd fallen into some kind of Truman Show sequel. And the best part? The mastermind behind the circus was Monica, our HOA president, strutting around with a clipboard like she owned every square inch of my family's old cabin and the land around it. Picture this. Monica, maybe 55, boss haircut, sunglasses way too big for the weather, unlocking my cabin gate with a key that looks a little too familiar. My own damn house key. And she's got this fake friendly smile that makes my skin crawl. Calls me sweetie, like she's talking to a lost puppy, then waves that key in the air and says, "Community event. HOA approved." Like that makes it normal for her to hand out my property for her granddaughter's wedding. Without even a phone call, a note, nothing. I tell her, politely at first, "Hey, Monica, this is my cabin. How do you even get that key?" She whips out a laminated certificate, official HOA master key. She beams, and I swear, even from 6 feet away I can see the typos, the clip art seal, the whole thing a train wreck. I ask for legal authority. She scoffs, calls me the trespasser, and next thing I know she's speed dialing 911, telling the police there's a dangerous man threatening her at what she calls community property. Yeah, my property. I start thinking, am I losing my mind? Or is this woman running a scam so bold she actually believes it? Before the cops even show, Monica manages to back straight into a 3-tier chocolate fountain, mid-9/11 call, and gets absolutely baptized in chocolate in front of 50 horrified wedding guests, every single one of them filming. She still tries to blame me for sabotaging her HOA equipment. That's the power of pure delusion, right there. By the time the sheriff arrives, she's sticky, furious, but still waving that fake certificate around. He checks both our keys, identical, except mine has a scratch from last summer. The sheriff plays it neutral, says Monica's got ID, no immediate crime found, and leaves me staring at the ruins of my own front yard, wondering what on earth just happened. But the story doesn't stop there. Oh, it just keeps getting wilder. Next day, my neighbor David, quiet guy, 2 doors down, shows up looking like he hasn't slept in weeks, clutching a fat folder. He's got evidence, county records, emails, photos of Monica's keychain, even screenshots of locksmith conversations where she faked emergency requests for duplicate keys. Turns out, Monica's been making copies to 6 different houses, using fake HOA letterhead to con local locksmiths, telling them it's all for community safety. That would have been enough, right? But as I'm processing that, my phone starts blowing up, texts from neighbors. "Wedding setup happening at your place again?" I look out the window, and it's round 2. Trucks, flowers, chocolate fountain 2.0, Monica nowhere in sight. Until she pops up in a new community event supervisor costume, bullhorn and all, barking orders like she's running an airport. She's even got new fake permits. But this time, David's had enough. He steps up and, for the first time in his life, yells loud enough for everyone to hear. "Your grandmother's lying. Monica's got illegal keys to 6 houses." That's when the whole wedding party, including poor Emma, the bride, Monica's own granddaughter, finally turns. Emma, eyes full of tears, recognizes the addresses on Monica's keys. The whole family explodes. Dad, Mom, even Uncle Mike from Nevada, and the guests start scattering. Monica, instead of backing down, tries to control the chaos with her clipboard, swinging it at people and breaking it into 3 pieces. The DJ, the florist, the caterer, they're all out. Vendors packing up faster than you can say fraudulent contract. The dream wedding crumbles in real time. And then comes the twist I never saw coming. Emma, sobbing, hands me a crumpled note she found in Monica's car, lists of addresses, dollar figures, and one chilling line. Which house burns first? Turns out, Monica wasn't just after party space. She'd been plotting arson for insurance money, forging claims, and roping her own granddaughter into signing off on banking documents. Emma, the real victim here, ends up finding the courage to expose it all, shows up at a community meeting with a shoebox full of bank statements, and tells everyone what Monica, real name Patricia, had been doing. We call the county prosecutor. The cops come. Patricia tries to defend herself with the only thing she knows, more clipboards, more measuring tapes, more fake authority. She even argues with herself out loud, swapping between Monica and Patricia, as if that's going to save her. I've never seen someone unravel so fast in public. But even when they slap cuffs on her, she shouts about constitutional measurement rights and tries to check the square footage of the meeting room. You'd think that would be the end, justice served, community healed, evil defeated. But life doesn't wrap up that neat, does it? A couple weeks after Patricia's sentencing, 4 years in state prison, 5 years probation, $75,000 restitution, my insurance paperwork turns up signed by a county clerk named Janet Morrison, a name Patricia yelled at me as she was being led away. And wouldn't you know it, Janet's signature is all over my deed, my taxes, every official document for the past 3 years. Turns out, Patricia had an inside woman altering records, helping her rig the HOA election, and maybe even prepping the ground for another scam. By now, our whole neighborhood's woken up. David takes over as HOA president, runs everything out in the open, monthly public budget meetings, nothing decided behind closed doors. Emma goes back to school, studies criminal justice, decides she's going to help other people spot fraud before it destroys their families. But just when it seems we're in the clear, a new face moves in. Margaret Brooks, Patricia's sister, super friendly, asks all the same questions Patricia did, but this time with iPads and apps instead of clipboards. For a minute, the whole block feels that old fear creeping back. Are we cursed, or what? But Margaret, it turns out, isn't quite her sister's match. Gets herself arrested for impersonating a traffic officer, tries to write fake parking tickets, and accidentally helps the police bring down Janet Morrison, who gets caught jamming her hand into a paper shredder full of fake documents while the sheriff waits outside her office. It's almost slapstick, honestly. If I hadn't lived through it, I wouldn't believe a word. Now, 2 years out, Emma's the first in her family to graduate college. David's led the neighborhood to real financial health, and even Margaret finds redemption. Ends up our treasurer, runs everything by the book, writes her own story about escaping a criminal family legacy. Our cursed block becomes the case study for fraud prevention, and the county even sends officials to learn from us. We build a community not on fear, but on truth, transparency, and neighbors watching out for each other. But I'd be lying if I said I sleep easy every night. Last week, I get a postcard, no return address, just an HOA in another county, red circle around the street name. Patricia, out of prison, maybe ready to run it all again. Or maybe just reminding me the game never ends. Maybe she's learned, maybe she's gotten smarter, or maybe she's just waiting for the next soft target. So yeah, these days, when I see kids playing in my yard, when I watch neighbors laugh over burgers at our annual barbecue, I remember what it took to get here. The fights, the betrayals, the nights we thought we'd lose everything. And I know the real measurement of success isn't in property lines, or inches, or who holds the biggest clipboard. It's in the way we show up for each other, refuse to be bullied, refuse to let criminals, no matter how slick, divide us. That's what keeps our neighborhood strong. So what about you? Ever faced off against someone who thought a title or a little power gave them the right to rewrite your life? Drop your stories below, share your thoughts on justice, and tell me, what's the craziest scam you've ever seen in your community? Let's keep this conversation going. Because the only thing standing between us and the next Patricia is each other.